Hello and welcome to the channel. Here we talk about my experiences during lockup for educational use. I do not condone or glorify the behaviors in my stories. I spent 2 years in lockup at CFCF, and now that I'm out, I want to tell you guys about it. In this episode, we're going to talk about my 5th fight in jail, okay? And now, look, mind you, this has been the only time that I've jumped someone in jail. And the reason why we did that was because this guy was a psychopath, for one, and for two, he was attacking my cellie for no reason, pretty much, alright? Now, look. This story involves Chucky, and if you don't know, Chucky was my 3rd jail fight victim. Okay, the guy that I was in the cell and I choked out my white kid friend. This is Chucky. Okay, I'm referring to as Chucky because I'm not gonna tell his real name. But anyway, the same guy that I pretty much choked out, I was fighting for him. And the reason I was fighting for him was, one, he was kind of getting beat up a little bit. But not only was I going to let them get their one-on-one at first, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense for me to jump up in it. Okay? Now, another one of the major reasons that I jumped up in it, right, was because Chucky was my cellie, and not only was he my cellie, but he was a sharing cellie. Alright? Now, a sharing cellie in jail, you feel what I'm saying? They won't break bread with you. You get what I'm saying? If you need something and they got it, they gonna give it to you. Now, mind you, right, I didn't need anything that Chucky had, but I would be a liar if I said at times I did not go hungry and Chucky had something and he was willing to give it to me. You get what I'm saying? Therefore, because he was a good person, even though me and him got into a whole lot of bickerments and stuff, like I said in my last video, there was a point in time where commissary was giving out hot food, and a dessert option on hot food at the time just so happened to be birthday cake, and it happened to be his birthday. I literally paid $10 for this 18-year-old grown man to have birthday cake in jail on his birthday, because this dude was literally like my guy. I ain't gonna lie, that was my dude. I ain't gonna lie, that was my friend. Even though I ended up knocking him out in my 4th jail fight video. Okay, but still, long story short, that was my friend. Now look, like I said earlier, the dude that was, long story short, beating him up, right? Like I told you, he was a psychopath. You get what I'm saying? So you probably don't get what I'm saying, so I'm going to I'm going to explain that right now. Okay, this dude, literally, he would spit all over the place, right? Ever since this dude got on the pod, he's been like a dang ostrich. All right, literally spitting all over the place. Or maybe not an ostrich, maybe a llama. Maybe that's what it is. This dude was literally a llama, yo. Like, he was literally spitting on the ceilings, on the floor, on the walls, everywhere, and it was pretty gross. Okay, his first cellie that he had on the pod at the time, right, everything was cool at first, right? His first cellie when he got on the pod, and then out of nowhere they started fighting. All right, now mind you, this dude who ended up fighting Chucky, attacking Chucky, I should say, right? I'd say he's about 20 years old, light skin, and I'm pretty sure he caught a body. All right, but I'm not gonna go too deep on that right now. Anyway, right? This dude used to spit all over the place, right? After that first celly moved out, another celly moved in who he pretty much picked another fight with. All right, long story short, this guy was in his cell by himself, and to make matters worse, he did not come out for recreation. And if you guys follow my videos at all, if you don't come out for recreation at all, it's going to give off a whole bunch of signals to the other inmates. Okay, mind you, things that could be unintentionally sent off if you do not come out for recreation is that you may be scared, you may be a little boy. All right, these are just the type of things that people think. All right, now mind you, this guy never came out of his cell at all after a certain point. All right, literally spitting all over the place, literally like talking to himself. He's one of those. All right, if you follow my videos, this guy is another crazy guy. Right, now back to the thing. Now, like I said, since this guy who I'm referring to as Jason, right, was pretty much locked inside of his cell with no cellie at all, right, a few of the inmates would go mess with him, right, and a select few inmates, right, would always go up to him and check on him, right. And whenever somebody who was going up to him to go check on him or mess with him, right, he would always pretty much like not say anything back to him and give them death stares through the cell door, right? Or he may say something incoherent, right, unless he actually needed something. Okay, I mentioned before in my jail food video, right, that there were certain people that used to always kill trays. Okay, this guy was a tray slayer by definition. Okay, if people did not want a tray, they would put it by his cell, right, and he would not come out of the cell, and he was perfectly fine eating like 20 trays in his cell by himself. Okay, now the day of the fight, right, me and Chucky were in the cell pretty much vibing with our other two cellies at the time, because we were a multi of 4 people, a cell of 4 people. Okay, now when we came out the cell at first, right, I ain't gonna lie, I was getting a little bit burnt out off of my other 3 cellies. Okay, now Chucky at the time, me and Chucky already had the plan to go outside during recreation and go play some spades with 2 other people, and me and him were going to play against each other. Okay, because he was pretty good at spades and everybody kind of called me a mop, I'm not gonna lie, right, but in my opinion I'm pretty good. Back to the story though, right, I go right to the table to go play spades with the cards. Okay, Chucky goes and does what he usually does, and he checks on Jason while he was locked inside of his cell. And literally, while I walked past them, I literally heard Chucky say, "Hey Jason, you good?" And I looked back and I saw Jason give him the thumbs up that he normally always does through his cell door, right? And that was it. And then I saw Chucky walk away. Okay, I'm at the table now, right, and I see Chucky walking up to the table. The guard on duty, the CO, okay, let out Jason during recreation, and honestly I don't know why. Immediately as soon as he comes out for recreation, he goes and punches Chucky from behind, a right haymaker from behind, mom, right in his face, right? And everybody stops and is just silent and just watching what's happening, including me. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, everybody knows Chucky to be a big talker, right? And everybody wanted to see him back it up, pretty much, right? Now, mind you, I'm not gonna lie, the dude Jason was kind of getting him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because he kind of caught Chucky off guard, right? And Chucky curled up, and that is something you absolutely do not want to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to fight back. Chucky wasn't fighting back, so I hopped up in it. Okay?
Now, at first, Jason had got his few good hits in, and everybody was just standing around watching. After a little bit, I said, you know what? This is over. I gotta do something about it. This is my friend. So I hopped over to them and I started giving Jason some combos on his side, pretty much on his side, to his head, to his face, and everybody is on like, oh my god, yo, look at him, yo, oh my god, because at this point I kind of haven't fought out on the pod pretty much in a year and a half, so pretty much I had to show myself. Long story short, right? Everybody's like, yo, oh my god, because they're in shock because they see me fighting for once, right? Mind you, this is my 5th jail fight anyway, right? So after a little bit of me punching him, right, Jason curls up, right? But mind you, Chucky is also curled up. He doesn't see that I am helping him at this point, right? He literally doesn't even see it. So since Jason is still on top of Chucky, I hip toss Jason off of Chucky. Now mind you, I have a little bit of karate experience. I did MMA. I'm also a Marine. I talk about it in my videos, right? So literally I hip toss him off of Chucky. Feel what I'm saying? Now Jason is standing up and we're doing the little square off, right? At first, I remember I was southpaw, right? And I'm an orthodox fighter, you feel me? So really quickly I switched it up, and as soon as my left foot touched the ground, I thought I sent a left jab. Everybody else that saw the fight says that I threw a left hook. I digress. I literally punch him in the face, and as my knuckles hit his face, I saw his eyes roll on the back of his head. So from that point, me personally, I mentally checked out of the fight because I said, you know what, I won. I said that to myself. But like, me mentally, I checked out of the fight at that point. You know what I'm saying? Now mind you, when my knuckles touched his face and I saw his eye roll in the back of the head, and I decided, you know what, I'm done. That pretty much lasted a whole second. That whole interaction of me punching his face and me seeing his eyes roll back and me just deciding to be done with it, right? So he's standing there all days and days, right? Mind you, I say, all right, everybody's still watching, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I literally push him towards the top tier stairs, all right? The first time I push him, he stumbles a little bit and recovers, right? And then I remember, I'm like, oh crap, right? And then I run at him so I can gain momentum, and then I shove him with all my might down the stairs, and he finally stumbles up the stairs. You get what I'm saying? After he tripped up the stairs, then Chucky pretty much recovered, and he started punching him too, right? Another one of our cellies kind of wasn't doing anything, so I kind of said, yo, come on, let's go. And then he also punched him like a couple times in the sides, right? A newer celly that we had, that me, Chucky, and our other celly had, we kind of wasn't vibing with him at first, but eventually we was cool with him, right? Now, the three of us are all attacking Jason now, right?
And after a little bit, the CO comes up with the mace, you know what I'm saying, to stop everything from going on. You know what I'm saying? So after I got maced and Chucky got maced as well, that was pretty much the end of the fight. I jumped up saying, haha, I knocked you out, expletive, I knocked you out, haha. And mind you, people haven't seen me got like this in a very long time. So people were pleasantly shocked. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, though, after I got maced, I pretty much had to lock in for the rest of the day. As in, I had to lock in myself for the rest of the day. I got no recreation time. Now, I would have rathered that than the alternative, which was me going to the hole over a simple fight. Now, mind you, the aftermath, alright? Aftermath, I did end up getting my very first write-up a year and a half into my jail time. And this was my very first write-up because I wanted to stick up for my friend, right? And because I got this write-up, I eventually got sent to the hole, okay? And I'll make a very long video about my time in the hole. But anyway, after I got locked in that cell for the rest of the day, people came up to me and was like, yo, oh my god, that was crazy, bro. We didn't know that you had that in you. Oh my god. Everybody was pretty much pegged me as the quiet guy. You know what I'm saying? Which I was, but nobody would mess with me because I was the quiet guy. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, after I got locked in myself for the rest of the day, then they also locked in Jason for the rest of the day, and he didn't come out for a good 4 or 5 days. All right, while he normally didn't come out the cell, you know what I mean, it's pretty clear that he wasn't coming out the cell because he was just really shocked and embarrassed that it happened to him. You know what I'm saying? And he did eventually come out the cell one more time just to give everybody in the multi that, you know, was pretty much defending our friend. He was giving us all death stares. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. Whatever. It's fine. He's entitled to feel how he wanted to feel. Anyway, long story short, one day he was out on the pod, I was out on the pod. He wanted to play basketball out in the yard. I went out to the yard where he was at and I just started playing basketball with him. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that he wanted to play rough, and that's cool. Whatever. I wasn't trying to get into another fight with him or nothing like that, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I was just trying to be a good dude, you know? He starts spitting at me, start all this other weird stuff. And again, we had a little stare down, and people out on the pod was like, oh no, not again, yada yada yada, but nothing happened that time. Long story short, this guy was crazy, okay? And you don't want to be around crazy type people in jail because you have stories like this. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, though, another one of our cellies pretty much didn't want to do anything, and I understand because he had just got in the cell. He didn't want to get into a fight defending somebody that he didn't know, so that's understandable. But this whole video pretty much was just giving context and explaining why I got into my 5th jail fight video, okay? If you guys like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me if people would comment and, you know, tell me the type of stuff they would want to hear as well, you know? But other than that, I hope everybody has a great rest of their day.